the grand unveiling.
Hi, my name's Johnny, and today it gives me ginormous pleasure to say that I am here at the glorious Gibson garage in London, where today I am reviewing the brand new 2025 Green Day's own Mike Dirnt signature Epiphone G3. I almost can't believe I'm saying those words because it feels like this bass has been teased on the internet for so long by Mike himself playing it live on tour, and then, you know, no one seeming to acknowledge it. So I am super thrilled that Gibson said, do you want to come down to London and check this thing out for yourself? So why don't we do just that? Come look at the bass itself. It comes in this amazing high quality hard case. Look at this thing. Nice. The grand unveiling. Oh my goodness. Look how nice this is. This comes with this fitted hard case, which is really nice, like especially for this bass. Let's take a look. Now, for all of those American idiots out there, Mike Dirnt is, of course, the iconic bass player of the legendary pop-punk trio that is Green Day. And on that incredible back catalogue, you can hear Mike Dirnt's signature sound absolutely blasting through the mixes on those albums. Most notable unique tones of his is from his 70s Gibson G3. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you'll know that the G3 is actually one of my favorite basses of all time. And make sure you stick around to the end of this video because I am going to be comparing the new Mike Dirnt Epiphone to my personal 1978 G3. But first of all, let's do a bit of a rundown of the bass that we've got here today. We've got an all maple body and a maple neck. It's kind of like this caramelized maple neck, I'd say, and it's got a really nice satin finish on the back, and that's just my favorite. It's got a modern C-shaped neck and a 41mm nut width, so not quite as big as like a massive 43mm P bass, kind of like a modern P, I would say, if you were to compare it to other basses of Mike's. Moving up, we've got a really nice ebony fretboard, and that just looks absolutely killer. I think that it was the absolute correct decision to go with something like ebony that's super dark, that matches the aesthetic of the bass, in comparison to kind of cheaping out on a more affordable wood and something that looks a little bit paler, such as something like Palfero or even rosewood. I think that ebony was the absolute right choice for this bass. It also helps to give a slightly snappier sound, which in combination with this badass style super high mass bridge that we've got here really helps to make it as snappy sounding as possible. Flipping the bass over, we've got this string through body, which is just so good for really enhancing the sustain combined with the high mass bridge. I think that's a really good combination. We don't have the silver burst on the back. On the front we do, which the finish, I think, I wish the black wasn't so thick on the edges. I wish the silver had a little bit more time to shine and we could see some more of the finish up here. I feel like that would have been really nice rather than it be so heavy on the black. Then we've got that absolutely classic triple single coil pickups, and although this is an Epiphone, this is actually Gibson's own pickups that we've got in here, and boy do they tell you by showing it off with these massive Gibson logos. Now, the most famous sound of the G3 is of course that buck and a half sound, which essentially means like a humbucker and then some, and they do this by having two pickups in parallel and one in series in the middle to kind of give you a beefier but still slightly kind of scoopy sound that just suits this pop punk and aggressive pick playing so well. And for a Chinese made instrument, you might be thinking it's an Epiphone, maybe some of these parts aren't going to be such high quality control is going to be bad, but actually this has been fantastic. We've got no buzzing frets, no sharp fret edges. Granted, I am here and not going to give me a duff one, but actually everything that I've felt on here so far has been really, really nice. And especially this toggle switch. I'm infamously not a fan of toggle switches because they have the tendency to get broken and can be really cheap feeling. But this toggle right here is absolutely fantastic. In the upwards position is these two pickups here. Down the bottom is the back pickups, and then in the middle is all three for that $1.50, baby. Then this is paired up with a master volume and a master tone, and the knobs on here feel fantastic. Now this bass is a heavy bass, but that kind of comes with what this is. It's a huge body, so it's going to be very difficult to get something like this light that isn't going to neck dive without putting like ultra light tuners on it. That's just kind of what you're buying into here. In terms of neck dive, it does tend to go a little bit, but it's not like, you know, Gibson Thunderbird style where it's all over the place. Now, although Mike was seen on tour playing this Silverburst version here, they actually surprised us by releasing a natural version to match his original G3, which I think is such a smart idea. People wanting that classic look can get that now. And, you know, this is something that I feel like Gibson should have released a long time ago. I've been waiting for like a G3 reissue for ages. Like, they've been sitting on a gold mine here, and I'm really glad that someone like Mike Dirnt has done us all a favour and brought it back into the world, into production. Now, one of the things that's a little bit weird is the pickguard shape here, where it doesn't quite match the body, and that's not the case with the real thing. Hopefully you can see here the two pickguards are actually pretty different shapes when it comes to rounding off the body, and this was the case as well with the grabber that Epiphone recently put out, so I'm not too sure why they've decided to do that. But now, probably what you're all here for, let's have a listen to what this bad boy can do. For this demonstration, I am running the G3 straight into my Line 6 HX Stomp. I'm then splitting the signal, recording the HX Stomp with some effects and an amp sim, and then running a parallel output into the Mesa Subway TT800, which is really, really nice, by the way, which is running into the matching 410 underneath, and I'm taking a DI signal out the back. But I'll let you know on screen which you're hearing and when. Let's start things off, tone all the way up, and listening to just these front two pickups, playing with the pick. If you're wanting more of that like precision type sound from Mike Dirnt, who is also famous for using a kind of Telecaster style P-bass, I would recommend putting it in this setting and rolling the tone back. I found that the tone is really, really usable, although, you know, I wouldn't be one to use this sound. Maybe I would. It sounds great. But, you know, dialing it back a little bit, I found that this tone control is super usable and actually feels really high quality. Now let's have a listen to the back two before all three together. Obviously, you're starting to get more of that like bridge sound. Obviously, with that bridge single coil in there, you're getting a much brighter sound. Personally, I tend to prefer it on these two to give you more of that fundamentals, but it's still nice to have this option if you want more of like a Stingray-esque kind of sound. Now, let's have a listen to my favorite sounds of the G3 classically. All three pickups on all at once. For me, I just absolutely love the top end that it gives you. The G3 has got like so much treble in it without it being too harsh on the ears. A really unique sound that really just like tickles my ear so well. And I just absolutely love it. I want more basses to have this kind of setup in it. And these Gibson and these Gibson pickups really deliver, I think. It's really, really nice. Let's just hear what it sounds like with some drive. Now let's compare it directly to an all-original Gibson G3. So should you go out in search of a vintage one, or is this one just as good? In terms of sound, I certainly think that this one has a little bit more bottom end compared to my vintage one, but bear in mind, you know, these are completely different parts going into this. They're just the same pickup configuration and shape, so they're gonna sound different. I definitely feel like the vintage bass was a bit more well-rounded in a way, definitely more even across the fretboard. And I don't think this is bad at all, but when I played that one, I certainly noticed a little difference there. As well as the weird pickguard bit, they've also used some like much longer machine heads for the tuners on this, which means that they kind of poke out a little bit more, and it's something I noticed when I first saw this. So I kind of wish they'd done some slightly smaller tuners, although they are really good quality. Out of the box, this one plays really, really well. I think the action is perhaps a smidge higher than I would prefer. It's certainly good for really digging in with a pick, which I suppose that's what this bass is designed for. But a few simple adjustments on this high mass bridge, and I'm sure you can get it to exactly where you want it to be. Now, whilst this is certainly a lot cheaper than a vintage G3, it is still actually quite a lot of money, especially for an instrument that's made in China. Brand new 2025, these are actually retailing for £1,200. Now that does come with that really nice hard case as well, but that is quite a lot of money for an Epiphone. I can see you all in the comments saying that. Granted, it's very nice, and it's the exclusivity of the G3. The fact it's got Mike Dirnt's name on it as well. All of these things are adding value onto the instruments. However, I can't help but think that that's really at the top end of what I predicted that these would be going for. Whilst I really appreciate that Mike Dirnt has gone for Epiphone and not done like a £2,000, £3,000 Gibson version, I definitely feel like for those more aspiring players or younger players who he's inspiring, I think that it's kind of made less accessible to them by that price point, which is a bit of a shame. But it's not an uncommon thing, really, when you look at things like Fender, pretty much all of their signature models, where they used to be over in Squire, and that's when Mike Dirnt had his original signature bass. Now you seem to get, you know, custom shop ones and then Mexican made ones that are around £1,200 to £1,500 new. So that price for a signature instrument is not crazy, really. However, those are made in Mexico for the Fender ones, and this is made in China, not Indonesia. And I think that China is producing some fantastic stuff, evidence, and have been doing so for a long time, even better than the Indonesian factories, in my opinion. However, £1,200, despite being a fantastic bass, that does still hurt a little bit. Maybe even do something like Sterling have been doing with the recent Joe Dart bass, where it was made to order, so you could still get that really nice quality, but they're saving because they're shipping directly to the consumer. But there we go. Let me know what you think about this brand new bass in the comment section down below. I want to say thank you very much to Gibson for having me at the garage today. It's been an absolute pleasure filming here. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. It really helps me reach more people and keep doing what I'm doing. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.